Hey there guys, this is Misfit Ghost here. Um, Today I'm basically just doing kind of like a quick tutorial or question and answer thing. I was contacted on DeviantArt by a cosplayer named NicoDBaby09. She's been asking me about my Witchblade cosplay and stuff like that, how I did it, where I went to get the supplies, all that kind of stuff. Basically, I would normally type this out, but just because of the information, stuff like that, I'm not very good at typing a lot of things out. So I just figured that it'd be a lot easier if I just made a quick video on how I did it, basically. Now, like some of the questions that you asked me were, where do you go? What do you need? How much do you need to save up? This is all going to depend on you and stuff like that. For my cosplay, the materials that were used was I made a black spandex suit. Yeah, just that was the base of the outfit and stuff like that. Because the version I did in Sani, there's two versions. There is a DVD version where she's got a lot of skin exposed and everything like that. Now, it's not comfortable with that, so thankfully there was a second alternate version. The alternate version was the one that they had premiered on Spike TV, where she actually had a black body or a body undersuit or you know what I mean. It was black body or black bodysuit. Okay, so that's the version I ended up choosing. So I just got basically your very basic, you go to Fabricland and stuff like that. You can buy, it's like an athletic wear material that they have, and it's literally, it's spandex. So I ended up buying that, and I made a black bodysuit. If you're not really comfortable with making your own bodysuit, you can easily find websites. Just Google Zentai suits or bodysuits, and you can actually find pre-done skin tight bodysuits or spandex suits that you can use as a base. I did it for my Rogue. I bought a yellow one, and then I just got green spandex, and then I just cut Rogue up and stuff like that, and I made a template. So part of it was made by me, and part of it wasn't made by me. It made life a lot easier because then you know it's going to fit you properly. So you can go ahead and do that. Another thing that I got for the outfit and stuff like that was neoprene. That's what I made the big bulky pieces of armor out of that you see when you look at her. She's got all the detailing on her. I bought that, and it was neoprene. Starla had gone on to one of my cosplay friends, had gone and researched this material, and what it is a material that is used that they use to make wetsuits. Now, this is what she ended up using for, or we ended up using for most of it and stuff like that. You don't have to use this material because it is very expensive. I think it was, I think we got 2 yards worth, if I remember correctly, but it was $100. That doesn't include shipping. Very expensive. Masane cost me around $400 to $500 ish. I never really calculated it up, but I know it was around $400 to $500. She was my most expensive cosplay, but yours does not have to be that expensive. It really just like it's when it comes down to the cost factor, it's gonna really come down to what you can afford, how much you have for what your budget's gonna be and stuff like that. So basically, what you can afford. And just what's around you, what you have, what if you're able to order anything from the internet, or if you have any shops around where you live and stuff like that, you can go and get certain materials. It's really just gonna depend on you and stuff like that. Now for yeah, the neoprene stuff like that. You don't have to use that. There's other things you can easily use. You can get like a thicker cotton and stuff like that. You can use that. Or if you wanted to, you could take craft foam. You can get at your craft store like Michael's or something like that. You can get black craft foam. Now what you can do with that to make the 3D effect with the armor and stuff like that is you can cover it in the spandex if you want to, the same material, or a little bit of a different tone if you wanted to, depending on the color of your outfit. And then basically you can school glue it on and stuff like that. And what it's going to do is it's still going to be a flexible material and stuff like that with the craft foam and the fabric on top. And it's still going to be moldable, so you can still shape it to the way you need and stuff like that. It'll be a bit stiffer, but it's going to have a similar effect. It's not going to be as flexible as the neoprene was for us, because that was our biggest concern, was because the way that the material, or the way that the armor is on the Witchblade outfits, was, can we move in these? Can we be mobile? That was our biggest concern. So that's why we went the neoprene path. So if you can afford neoprene, by all means, definitely recommend it. It was a fantastic material to work with, and all we did was we hot glued it onto our costumes. You can easily just sew it right onto it if you'd like to. It's really your choice, but we decided to hot glue it on, and it worked just fine. Now for, yeah, with the craft foam method though, you can easily go ahead and use that, and just basically just play around with it. That's the easiest thing that I can really tell you to do when it comes to your cosplays, is trial and error. Um, Everyone has their own methods for making things. Everyone's got different like preferences and stuff, so it comes down, in the end, it comes down to what your capabilities are and what you feel comfortable trying. So you can definitely do that for sure. Now, let's see here. Another question you were asking me is, oh, hi Jasper. Sorry, my cat's in the video now. Another question was her contacts. How you get the red and the black together. Now, I know with the Witchblade characters, a lot of them had the white of their eyes were black, and then the actual iris itself was a bright glowing color. Now, with my contacts, I was not able to do that because the simple fact is I could not afford scleras. Scleras are a contact that is a whole eye contact, or the whole front of your eye, where basically it will get rid of any of the white color. If you can afford to get scleras, that would be the easiest method to going to do the effect that the Witchblade eyes have. The only problem though is scleras run anywhere from $200 to $400 per contact. That's not for the pair, that's for just one. So they're extremely expensive. So if that's in your budget, by all means go ahead, but if not, if you can't afford it, then definitely go a different route. And on top of that too, they're very difficult to put in your eye, just because it's a huge contact, so they can definitely be very tricky. Another option you can do is, I'll go to 9mm contacts or something like that, .com or something. You can just Google 9mm contacts. They're a lot larger, but they're not full eye. But you can get really large ones like that you can definitely use, that you can have a similar effect. Or you can get just a normal contact, where the contacts I had were, they were a very bright yellow contact, and they had a really, really thick black circle that went around the iris. Not the same effect that Masane had, because her eyes were, the yellow and the black, where it was fully black. But obviously, because I couldn't afford scleras, I went to a different method. So basically, the easiest method for you to do would be if you went the same route that I did and got normal contacts with a red contact with just a really thick black circle. You could easily just, at the end of the, after you have your photos and stuff, and then you get them back, you can Photoshop your eyes, and you can Photoshop in the black and substitute it out for the white. That's going to be the easiest and most cost-efficient method that I can definitely suggest for you to do when it comes to this. Now, for the wig question, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by asking me about the color and stuff like that, because I looked at the gallery that you have, and you have your character, and she's got two hair colors. She's got black and she's got red. Now, I'm not entirely sure exactly what you mean by, changing the color of the wig and stuff like that, because you can buy a straight black wig or you can buy a straight red wig, depending on your preference. Now, if you're wanting it to make it look like you're transforming into your Witchblade character, there are definitely different wigs you can actually look up online that basically have two tones in them and stuff like that, and they basically it's just a wig with two different colors in it. Another method you can do too is you can Sharpie dye. You can get like a dark wig or something like that. You can get like a red wig, and you can go in, you can add black dye to it. It's really just going to come down to whatever your preference is going to be. Now for the wig, I went and I grabbed it. Just visual was a little bit better. I kind of figured as much. So basically what I did was, for these pieces here, it literally is craft foam and a coat hanger. And then just if you look underneath in here, I cut all of this hair off. It's 2 weeks. Cut all of this off, use the extra hair from that, and I literally school glued it onto these pieces. These pieces are held on by super glue. That's it. I used the super glue that's called Quick Grip. You can buy it at Michael's. It's super cheap. Like, I don't know, I know in Canada it costs it's like 10 bucks here, but I know in the States I was down there and it's like 5 bucks a tube, which is super cheap. So that's a really, really good super glue you can use. It holds like you would not believe, and that's what I use on the top of the wig for the 2 pieces that come out. Now, basically, with that wig and stuff like that, you can send me more messages and stuff like that, and, you know, if you need more info on exactly, you know, like how to maybe style something, like that's, honestly, it's really trial and error when it comes to wig styling, stuff like that. Just like any wigs I've ever done, it's, you gotta play with it, you just gotta work with it, and just, or like trial and error, and look at tutorials. Tutorials are your best friend. I'm gonna start trying to maybe look into doing more tutorials myself, just because I get a lot of questions about how to do my wigs, my props. So I'm gonna look into actually creating tutorials for everyone, just so that, just for any questions that you have, because I know sometimes my methods are a bit different than everyone else's methods. Everyone's got their own way of doing something, so everyone's going to be different. I don't know if you have costume shops down there. If you have any costume shops near you and stuff like that, you can go there, get your contacts, get your makeup, your special effects makeup, stuff like that, all that kind of fun stuff. And oh yeah, and I noticed that, you know, for your cosplay and stuff like that, or your original character, you have the green markings on the face. The green markings you can use, you can just use your general green face paint. Don't use grease paint though. It's cheap, but it's messy. It doesn't work as nice. 2 brands I really, really like when it comes to face painting are called Benai and Paradise. They're both really good. They're both activated by water, so basically it looks like an eyeshadow palette you get, and then you just add a little bit of water to it, and then you can just put it on your face, and it goes on smooth, it dries, and it stays. It's fantastic. Paradise I found is more sweat resistant rather than Benai. This is just experiences that I've had with it, so it really just depends which brand you end up choosing in the end and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for right now that I can think of off the top of my head. If you have any more questions that I did not answer, you can definitely feel free to message me back and stuff like that. And for anyone else who may watch this video and stuff like that, like I said, I'm going to start doing tutorials and stuff like that, I'm hoping. So if you have any requests for a tutorial that, something that you've seen that I've made, and you want to know how I did it or something like that, just definitely send me a message and stuff like that. I can either make a video or I can just write to you, whichever would seem most logical to me. This seemed more logical for me to actually make a video, just because I'm not very good when it comes to typing out explanations, so I thought it'd be easier because I mumble a lot, so I thought it'd be a lot easier if I made a video to explain my methods and stuff like that. So yeah, just keep tuned for now, and yeah, just let me know if there's any more tutorials or any more questions anyone may have, and I'll be free to answer them. Thanks, bye guys.